So what do these companies know that you need to know? It's the power of emotional intelligence. And I'm going to give you a quick introduction to emotional intelligence and answer some very simple questions. The first thing is, what is emotional intelligence? Well, we define it as social competence. And when you look at what makes people successful, emotional intelligence is a vital part of that. When you consider those people that are the best of the best, it's those emotional competencies like assertiveness and independence and self-regard and great relationship skills and empathy skills, and those things that make those people the best of the best. Now, a little bit about what emotional intelligence is not. It's not about being soft, giving in, group hugs. It's part of who we are, and it's learning to manage your emotions for the best outcomes with people and relationships and those kinds of situations. Now, it's not a personality test, the instrument we use. It's not about just a set personality that you have based on preferences, and we've all taken these personality tests, and that's the general response we get is, yeah, that's me, so what? There's no clear-cut roadmap to personal development from these, so it's not the same thing as these personality tests. Now, let's look at the instrument we use, which is the Baron EQI. It was 17 years in development. It measures these 15 emotional competencies that you see here. Now, this is a 30-year-old financial consultant. She was an ESFJ, if you know Myers-Briggs. Very smart woman, top of her class MBA, probably from Harvard, IQ of 138, and she went through 6 jobs in 4 years. 6 jobs in 4 years. Now, why? Well, take a look at her profile. She has very high self-regard to the point of arrogance, and she hasn't complemented that high self-regard with great interpersonal skills like empathy and relationship skills. She also has very low emotional self-awareness, so she really doesn't understand herself. Very high assertiveness to the point of being aggressive. High independence, sort of a loner. And look at her interpersonal skills. Low empathy, low social responsibility, which means she doesn't work well in groups or teams, and low interpersonal relationship skills. Now, these scores are relative scores to a normative group, and it's just like an IQ test. It's a bell curve distribution where 100 is the mean. Now, more importantly than just the raw number, it's the relative numbers that give us clues to behavior and performance. And with that high of self-regard, assertiveness, and independence, and that low empathy and relationship skills, this woman will come across as someone who's pretty arrogant and very aggressive and not very good with people. She tends to be wanting to be alone. She's a loner. And look at her happiness score, and you'd be unhappy too if you went through 6 jobs in 4 years. Now take a look at this next profile. This is a high school educated construction worker who started his own home building business, extremely successful. He has an average IQ. He took an IQ test in his high school senior year, and it was 102, right on the mean, right on the average there. But where does his success come from? Well, take a look at his profile. You see he has that great self-regard and assertiveness, but look at his interpersonal skills. Incredible empathy skills, very high interpersonal relationship skills. He's also a great problem solver. He has high levels of optimism. And you see how much more balanced his profile is than this woman's profile. It's those highs and lows that can give us some really difficult behavioral issues that we can address by addressing these individual emotional competencies. So, we also have the scores of 300 construction managers all averaged in. Now, what do you think the profile looks like? Do you think it's a balanced profile or maybe a not balanced profile? Well, the averages give us a smaller range of scores, but in general, every group I ever work with has exactly this same construction manager profile. Now, you can see that relative scores, which are important with this, relatively high self-regard, assertiveness, and independence, but relatively low emotional self-awareness, and look at the interpersonal skills. Low empathy, low social responsibility, low relationship skills. Also, high stress tolerance, low impulse control, which is a chaos reactive management profile. Higher reality testing and problem solving with lower flexibility. There's a tendency there to micromanage, a little bit of a control profile. And look at the happiness. Happiness is always relatively lower, which I think speaks volumes about the industry today. Now, it is our belief that this typical profile relates to many of the industry problems that we're having. Industry image, customer service, teamwork, it's even safety. To me, safety is not a command and control issue. It's a self-awareness, empathy, social responsibility, relationship issue. We're also seeing a lot of stress and burnout in these profiles with low happiness and optimism, low self-actualization, low stress tolerance. And of course, we have the typical alpha male profile, which is high assertiveness, independence, and self-regard with really low interpersonal skills. Now, some applications and advantages. We have this collaborative nature of construction, but the emotional profiles aren't really conducive to that kind of collaboration. So by improving those areas, we can improve the process of construction. We've also seen that these technical people that are great at what they do get promoted, and they're managing people instead of processes, and they have a derailment of their careers. Or they don't do as well, or they get demoted, or they leave, and it's really sad to watch. But this will give them the tools they need to overcome that deficit for them in the interpersonal skills of managing people better. Also, these Gen X and Gen Ys that are really sharp kids, really technically excellent, the thing that is missing for them is that maturity and that ability to deal with people, and this can bring them up to those levels of leadership in a relatively short period of time. Of course, there's also great personal benefits. People tell me they not only become better managers, but better husbands and better fathers as a result of this work. And doesn't that make them better employees? Of course. Also, we've seen really good effects on recruitment, engagement, and retention. People really like this work and like to work on themselves. It makes them more valuable. It makes their lives better. And of course, there's a business reason for this. I can tell you dozens of anecdotal stories about people that weren't quite ready to be in positions, or they weren't quite ready to put them in front of key clients. And with this work, they became much better at relationships and really advanced their careers and created a lot more opportunities for them and for the company. Now, the next logical question is, well, can this stuff be taught? Can you measure and improve it? Yes, we can. And let me be clear that we don't do this in an afternoon. These programs are a minimum of 9 months, usually a year in duration, with lots of daily application, lots of coaching and follow-up. And it takes that long to create true behavioral change in people. But their behavior does change, and it is relatively permanent. Now, we also do these reunions once a year, once every 18 months, where we take the EQI again, we check in, we create new plans going forward, because things shift and change in terms of lives, in terms of relationships, in terms of career. So you need a different set of emotional competencies as a CEO than as a middle manager, than as an entry-level person. So the process is, you take this EQI, everybody creates individual development plans, and then we look at the group scores and create targeted learning programs that are spread throughout that year that address the group needs. And we also bring in any company needs, so it's truly a customized program. Then we do coaching and follow-up every 4 or 5 weeks, see where everybody is. Then at the end of the year, everybody retakes the EQI, we see what's changed, then we create this new plan going forward and create this lifelong learning, which is the last session, is how to create lifelong learning from this. And people create great leadership skills and great behavioral shifts. And we always emphasize that all of the coaching and feedback and evaluations are totally confidential. That way we get really good, accurate, honest appraisals and true behavioral change in these people. Now, for more information, Google emotional intelligence and learn more about that. There's dozens of books about it. You can buy my book, The People-Profit Connection, on this website. You can just peruse around the website, look at some videos, look at some testimonials. You can download lots of stuff from the book for free, some of the graphs and charts, some of the first 2 chapters, also some case studies. And we encourage you to contact our clients, and they'll tell you the power of this amazing work. Thank you for your time, and if you want to know more, you can always contact me, Brent Darnell, and all my contact information is on this website. Thanks again. Bye-bye.